progression. And for a young man, you're going to be very impressed by that. Given time, you really get to enjoy that. As far as his passing is concerned, there's been questions from disgruntled fans about, well, this throw or that throw, we haven't seen him throw the ball 70 yards downfield. First of all, there's only certain offenses that do that. But what you'll also see in Mariota is you'll see what they call NFL passes. Passes in tight windows, passes in double coverage, passes to receivers that he's built obviously a good rapport with Delaney Walker, who's having a great season, but he's helping the other receivers. He's helping a Green Beckham. He's still working with Kendall Wright. But the one thing that you'll see is that these receivers know that so long as they get to their spot, Mariota's going to get it to the spot. And one of the best things that you're going to see about this kid is it doesn't matter if the rush is coming at him. It doesn't matter if you've hit him. It doesn't matter how you rattle him. The kid gets up the same every single time. He gets up with that look in his eye like, let's go, boys. Next down, huddle up, next play. He's a confident young man, a young man with poise. He's great on his feet. If you got to make sure you get to the edge before he gets there, because he has the moves and he has the speed. And if he beats you to the edge and gets into the secondary, you got a glimpse of what he could do with that 87-yard touchdown run. At times you're going to see from Marcus Mariota the body language of frustration. And I guess it has to happen when your offensive line continuously fails you. Eventually you're going to give it away. But all in all, you're going to see a polished young man who was worth the number 2 pick, who is a franchise quarterback. And if he gets help around him, he's going to be something special.
I want to switch over to the defense, and despite not getting much support from them, the Tennessee defense has actually put up some respectable stats. They actually are 13th in the NFL in total defense, 7th in the league in sacks for 35. So what do you think about defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau, who's pretty much familiar with the Patriots, and the Titans defense?
Of course, LeBeau came here. Ray Horton was the defensive coordinator. They worked together before, so they embraced, and who wouldn't embrace Dick LeBeau coming to help or run your defense? And obviously he's made a big difference. Of course, the key cog is Jurrell Casey. That's just the bottom line. Jurrell Casey, he said when he came to the NFL that he told himself years ago that he would make it to the NFL Hall of Fame. Well, if Jurrell Casey continues to play like he has his first few years in the NFL, I think the kid's going to hit that one dead on, and he continues to be a force no matter what. But the Titans defense, you said they're 13th. The Titans defense was his highest 5th in the NFL this season. That's when they were posting up the numbers in the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, it was games that they couldn't find a way to close out, whether to hold on to a lead or gave up a lead. And lately, though, if you look closely at the Titans, in the last, I believe it is the last 6 games now, the Titans defense has been pretty much carved up in every way, every conceivable way that you can imagine, via the pass, the short pass, the middle pass, the long pass. They're getting killed in the middle of the field. The tackling has been horrendous. How much can you can't? I don't really put tackling on coaches because, you're the one who's got to grab the player and put him on the floor. So the tackling has been horrendous. And again, we don't want to use it as an excuse because it happens in the NFL to every team. Injuries have played a major factor. But when you have players like Greedy Ray Wilson who look promising and then all of a sudden just don't get it. You got a veteran like Michael Griffin that you know he's been there. It's just that effort that you expect is not there. You've got other guys coming in, C.W. Webb, a young kid doesn't know what he's doing, playing lights out at times. But again, it's like playing blind. You've got Avery Williamson, a good football player. Zach Thomas. Again, you've got a collection of players that show promise, but unfortunately the defense, it's as if the defensive system, the scheme, and the players haven't caught up to each other. So the defense, though they've put up good numbers throughout the year this year, that was mainly in the beginning of the season. At crunch time when it counted, which it should count every game, they've been pretty bad, actually, the last 5-6 games.
Any other questions before we even predict the game, which I don't think we should do to not give Ralph a heart attack?
Oh, I do.
Well, look, I think we all know pretty much what's going to happen here, unless the Patriots kind of fall flat on their face. So I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion how this is going to potentially end up. I guess the question becomes, I think from the Patriots standpoint, is how long do the starters really have to play in this game? Can Belichick be given the luxury of giving some of his starters some time off to really stay away from any more crippling injuries?
You know darn well that Brady won't come out of this game no matter what.
I'm about to say that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Brady's not coming out.
Well, but I do think that it's probably something that they would consider if this game does go the way most people seem to think it is, which is the Patriots put them out of their misery by halftime.
Yeah.
That maybe Garoppolo does get an opportunity in the fourth quarter to play. I think that would be a wise idea. The last thing you want is the quarterback going down because you've already had injuries at other places. You can't afford to have one there. So I do think that that may be in the back of the coaching staff's mind that this might be a game where you can get the starters out of there and at least stay away from any more, as I said, crippling injuries to those groups.
All right, well, here's the thing. There's only 4 times in 13 games that the Titans scored 30 or more points. 5 times the Titans have been held to 10 or fewer points, although they haven't suffered the indignity of getting shut out yet. So instead of predicting the game, let's ask the question, do you think that the Titans can score 30 points or more in this game?
30 points or more? How about 10 or
yes.
more?
I was going to say, I think 10 or more is probably the better question, and
okay,
I think the answer is maybe.
They can maybe score over 10.
Yeah, maybe. I would agree with that, maybe.
I think they can score 30.
Madden?
No.
I was going to say, there's got to be some cheating going on here if you think they can do that.
I'm serious. I'm serious. If Marcus Mariota has himself a Mariota day, I think the Titans can put up 30. The only problem is it's still going to be about 25 points short of the Patriots.
Well, I'll say this. I think if the Titans put up 30, I think that crowd in Foxborough is not going to be happy.
Yeah, they'll be leaving early and booing.
Yeah, that won't be.
They may not leave, but they'll make their voices heard. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is another one of those games where
52-17.
Ooh,
that's your prediction, Ralph?
Titans.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Oh, never mind. I quit drinking. 52-17 Patriots. Brady throws for 5 touchdown passes, 3 to Gronk. He'll even throw one to Randy Moss too. And
that pass would have to go about 3,000 miles to Fox Television Center in Los Angeles.
The ball's in the air. This is going to be ugly. Listen, before I go, I do want to say this on this show. I've been saying it since the beginning. With Deflategate started, before the season started, John and I have talked about it throughout the years, and here it goes. Commissioner Goodell, a note to you. Sir, please prepare yourself for the end of the season, because one Tom Brady is really pissed. If he gets his way, he's going to whoop everybody's ass that gets in his way, or almost everybody that he can, because there's only one thing that he would like to do. Make that 2. That would be to grab one more Lombardi trophy and shove it right up your... Gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to join you this evening, and...
Wait, Ralph, don't go just yet, because I want you to help us out with this last thing we have on the docket.
I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah, because, guys, I want to talk about, John, you mentioned it at the top of the show, that the Patriots got a lot of good things happening to them even before they played on Sunday, with the Bengals possibly losing not only the game, but their quarterback. Now Andy Dalton is pretty much hurt, and they have a tough schedule ahead of them. And the Denver Broncos actually lost a game as well, and they lost to the Raiders from all teams. So it pretty much gave the Patriots a pretty good shot back at the number 1 seed, and as long as the Patriots can hold on to that number 1 seed, they can do that. But the question I have for you guys, and I'll start with you, John, is of the 5 teams that are still fighting for playoff spots, that's the New York Jets, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Denver Broncos, Of those 5, who do you think is the odd man out?
The odd man out?
Yeah.
Boy, that's an interesting question. I mean, A.J. McCarron is going to end up being Cincinnati's quarterback this weekend, and it appears that Dalton is going to miss at least the rest of the regular season. So we're talking the final 3 games, and they still have to play Denver as well as their game this weekend. So I think Cincinnati makes it because I just don't. Boy, who's the odd man out, huh? I think the Jets are in. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick still has a playoff spot for the first time in his 11-year career. I think they're playing awfully well, as the Patriots are about to find out when they'll see them at the end of the month. I've seen Pittsburgh, and I think that's a team that, again, that they find a way to win tough games. I'd say Kansas City.
Well, I look at it this way. Pittsburgh has Denver this week. That's not going to be an easy win. The thing is, the Jets, if the Steelers win out, the Jets would lose. If the Jets and Steelers win out, the Jets would lose out to the Steelers in a tiebreaker. So the team, to me, in most trouble is the Jets, because I honestly think the Steelers are going to win out, and I also think the Jets could win out, and they do still have one more against New England, so that's not a guarantee either. So the Jets are the team in the most trouble, if you ask me.
But I think the Jets are by far the most dangerous, because that's a team that right now is playing good football at the right time of year. And I mean, who knows when the Patriots get to New York what kind of mentality they're going to have. Everything's kind of been taken care of for them. The only thing left is really to make sure they stay away from that first round bye. Playing the Jets in New York has always been difficult for the Patriots from time to time. I don't think this time's going to be any different, especially if the injuries continue to mount up. It's not going to be gimme for the Patriots by any stretch of the imagination. So that's why I say I think the Jets can make it as a wild card. I really do.
Ralph, what about you? Who's the one that's going to be golfing on Myrtle Beach?
First of all, the fact that we include the Cincinnati Bengals in the conversation, who happen to have, in case anybody in the world has forgotten, a 2-game lead over the Steelers with 3 to play, is amazing. And I want to say the Cincinnati Bengals. I won't, but I'll tell you why I want to say the Bengals, because first and foremost, they got a problem. They got a problem. I mean, A.J. McCarron, love what he did in Alabama, what a college quarterback's supposed to do, but welcome to the NFL, A.J. I don't know Cincinnati's schedule, but even with that said, I don't know if Cincinnati wins another game. But
Cincinnati has the 49ers and the Ravens.
Yeah, and I think that's why they get there, because they've got the 49ers and Ravens. I think they can beat those teams with A.J. McCarron at quarterback.
And they have one against the Broncos, too, I think.
I think that's the one that's the most difficult one, but I think they can win the other 2 with McCarron at quarterback.
Yeah. The logical choice there is Kansas City. Yes, you have that tiebreaker, which was a great point, with Pittsburgh and the Jets. You would think it would be Kansas City. That would be the choice. It's going to be Kansas City or the Jets, but I think Kansas City is the one that's going to be the odd one out.
To be honest with you,
I thought that way too.
I kind of think the Jets are going to be the ones that are out, because I know that they play Dallas, but I think that New England will probably take care of business, even though the game might not mean a whole heck of a lot when it comes down to it later on in the month. But I believe if the Patriots beat the Jets, that means that they can't win again, so they can't go another time. So, and plus, I hate the Jets, so that's why I'm saying the Jets.
But I mean,
so do I.
I expect the Jets to beat the Cowboys on Saturday. I expect them to do that.
Well, the thing is, if the Jets don't beat New England, they won't be in the playoffs. It's almost the numbers don't add up, and they have to win out, because if the Steelers win out, they won't make it. So they have to win out. Jets have to win out.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting these last 3 weeks to see what happens, and we'll definitely be here to talk about it, because the Patriots are back in the number 1 seed, and hopefully they'll keep it that way so they can get this well-rested bye, because of all the injuries we talked about earlier on. They really need that bye, so hopefully they can get that. Ralph, where can people find you, and where can they find your lovely products that you have here on NGSC Sports?
Well, everybody knows, of course, always log on to the website at ngscsports.com. That, of course, is where you'll find all your current content, all of our shows, including the show you are listening to, of course, the Flying Elvis Faithful, the top show on NGSC Sports. And as far as the Twitter handle for the company, I'll say it, even though everybody listening already figured it out. That's right, at NGSC NGSC Sports. You can find me on Twitter at El Rafito322. That's at ELRAFITO322 El Rafito. What else do I have here? Ladies and gentlemen, please listen to all the shows on NGSC Sports. I want to thank Shaq, Josh, John, and the Flying Elvis Faithful guys. This was cool.
Thank you for coming, Ralph. And I personally want to thank you for allowing us to do this, because I didn't think you would. When Josh asked you and Kyle and you about it, I thought this wouldn't happen. So I really appreciate you letting us do this from the beginning of the season to now. So thank